So for you to tell me that the gospel or the Injil has been made crooked, so to speak, then that means you would have an idea of what the straight line was, right? Of what the Injil actually said. You know what it actually said.
Yes, what the Quran says.
So that means that you wait. The Quran is the Injil?
No, whatever message was brought on to every prophet from before has, for example, the belief in one God, Tawheed. Okay, the belief in his angels, the belief in hell and heaven, the belief in
Where does the Quran tell you that the Injil said anything about hell or heaven?
What do you mean the Quran? No. The point I'm trying to make here is that whatever was prescribed before to the previous prophets.
How do you know what was prescribed to them? When you don't have a straight line, how do you know when a line?
Because the Quran finalized it. The Quran said it is the last message. It is going to be the unchanged. It is going to be. So what is your reasoning for saying that the Bible is reliable?
Well, you believe that the Bible is reliable too.
Unfortunately, I don't. I don't believe the Bible that we have today is reliable.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. Prove to me that I do.
What language did Jesus speak?
What did Jesus speak? He spoke Aramaic.
Where did you get that from?
What do you mean, where do we get that Aramaic from? Aramaic is a language. How do you get Aramaic from? Like, where do I get that information from? It's history. It's known that it was...
Where did you get that Jesus spoke Aramaic from?
The original language that Jesus spoke in his region was Aramaic.
How do you know?
Aramaic.
Yeah, how do you know?
It's common history that people should know.
What history? What is a historical source that tells you that Jesus lived in a region where he was speaking Aramaic?
Oh, this is a person. But what is your reasoning of saying what language he spoke?
If you were talking when you were paused, when you were off the app, I couldn't hear you, bro. So if you said something,
Sorry. What I was saying is, like, I'm not a student of history. I can't bring anyone saying that, oh, Jesus spoke Aramaic. What I have read up on has taught me that, yes, he spoke Aramaic. What is your reasoning of
what did you read? No. When you make a claim, you have to provide evidence. What is your basis? What source are you using to say that Jesus spoke Aramaic?
From what I have read up and understood, okay, I don't have specific authors. I can't just name you all the authors that I have read about that being like, oh, Jesus spoke Aramaic. From what I have read, the information that I have, sure, I can lack knowledge in that sense, but from what I understand, he spoke Aramaic.
Okay, so I can tell you where you get it from. Can I tell you?
Sure, tell me.
You get it from the New Testament.
Okay, so do we have the Aramaic version of? Do we have the original Aramaic version of the New Testament? The whole version.
Hold on. Where do you get this from? That the New Testament was originally in Aramaic. Where do you get that from?
From scholarly works that have shown that yes, true.
Show me. What scholar tells you?
That's what I'm saying. I can't name you specific authors and specific scholarly works, but I can tell you from what I have.
You shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say things.
No. Okay, listen. If I'm making a claim, yes, I can say I can lack in knowledge. If you're saying that, okay, like you're trying to like rebuff the claim, okay, but who says otherwise?
I'm not rebutting your claim. I'm asking you to justify your claim. Like, for example, if I'm a theist. Let's if I'm having a conversation with an atheist, and I both me and the atheist believe that morality is real. Morality exists. Now, as theists, we justify morality. We say that it comes from
God, whatever innate morality that we have.
Exactly. But for an atheist, they don't have a basis or foundation for morality. So they can't justify it. So even though we agree that morality is real and it exists, the atheist can't justify it, whereas I can. Same thing for you. You're a Muslim, I'm a Christian. We both believe that Jesus spoke Aramaic. I can justify it, but you can't.
See, that's the point I'm trying to make. So what I have read, okay, I can't name you every author that I've ever read about. Like, I can't name you every paper that I've read about. Okay, I'm a doctor, so I've read out like so many like research papers. Like, it doesn't mean I remember every author ever. I know, okay, there's the information in my brain that yes, he spoke Aramaic. So So
I
if you
understand
are
what
trying
you're
to say,
saying.
the point I'm trying to understand is why are we stuck on did he speak Aramaic or not? What I'm trying to
I'll
resolve with
tell
this
you why.
argument. If we
I'll
both
tell you why.
agree, that he spoke Aramaic, let's move forward from that.
Oh no, that because it's not just about agreeing; it's about the justification for why we say that. See, I started this off by saying I'm going to prove to you that you rely on the Bible, and this is what I'm doing. The reason why you know that Jesus spoke Aramaic, the place you get it from, or whatever author told you that Jesus spoke Aramaic, where they get it from. The source is the Bible. It's the New Testament.
Okay, again, same. That does not mean somehow that the Bible is accurate, does it? Though
It does because
no,
all I was showing you.
just because one point in the Bible, just because you're making one point saying that we get because Aramaic was spoken by Jesus and the Bible was written in Jesus, that's why it's accurate. That does not make sense.
No.
Criteria for accuracy. Includes.
Stop. You're missing it. I am telling you. I'm asking you for the primary source. Where does it come from that he spoke Aramaic? And the answer to that is the New Testament. So you're relying on the New Testament as a historical authority on the language of Jesus. You're relying on it.
I have never denied, listen, again, no Muslim would ever deny that the Injil that was brought onto Jesus was a lie. The Bible that we have today is a lie.
I just had to tell you that.
Whoa, listen, the Injil that was brought to Jesus, the original scripture that was brought down to Jesus, was not a lie because that was the law given to God, from God to Jesus. The thing that we disagree on, the Bible that we have today has corruptions. That's the only difference
Is
that
what I
causes
have
us to
today the
disbelieve in
Injil
it.
given to Jesus?
Absolutely not. Not the exact same.
So you bringing up this Injil of Jesus is irrelevant. I'm talking about the Bible, and I'm proving to you that you rely on the Bible.
What
You
does the
rely on the
Injil
Bible.
mean? Does it mean the gospel? Does it mean the gospel? Does Injil mean the gospel?
You're right. Yes. Is what I have that
Yes.
gospel?
You don't have the gospel of Jesus. You have the gospel of whoever the writers were of
Then guess what?
Jesus'
So
speakings.
guess what then? Bringing up this mystical Injil that you're talking about that Jesus had is irrelevant because I'm not talking about that apparently. I'm talking about the Bible, the New Testament, which is not that. So please focus on the New Testament. You said
again,
how
you
do we know that
misunderstand what I mean.
Let me land this and show you why this is important. The reason why this is important is all on the fact that I said, even you rely on the Bible that I have. You said, no, I don't. I said, I can prove it to you. You said, how? And this is where we're at, showing that the very fact that you're pulling from, that Jesus spoke Aramaic, comes from the Bible that I have.
I specifically said not the exact same. Even in the time of Muhammad, Prophet ﷺ, they used to use the Injil whenever it agrees with the Quran. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Listen,
Who did that?
The Prophet and his companions. The Prophet and his companions have agreed.
Show me when Muhammad did that.
Okay, absolutely no problem. Yeah, sure.
Show me when Muhammad used the gospel that we have,
the gospel that we have. The gospel we have is not the same.
That's what you're talking about, right?
That's the whole issue. The gospel we have, as in me and you in the year 2024, is not the same as the gospel that was given to Jesus. No.
Is it the same gospel that Muhammad had access to?
Who knows? Because it's gone through so many updates. My iPhone's gone through more updates than the Bible at this point.
I want you to pay attention to what you're saying, my dude. You keep flip-flopping everywhere. Pay attention and focus on
you're not making one point. You're not making 1 point.
I'm trying to help you, bro. If you just listen and relax, you'll be fine. You'll be just fine, I promise. Dude, you're saying that what I have is not what Muhammad had access to, and it's not what Jesus had access to. Fine. I grant that to you. I never made that claim. I never brought that up. All I said is that I can prove to you that you rely on what I have, on what I'm using. That's the point.
Again,
so if you're
trying to say
let me finish so that you understand what not to say. So you bringing up that what I have is not the gospel of Jesus or not the gospel that Muhammad was pulling from whenever he felt like it is irrelevant because I never made that claim. My point is that you rely on the same thing that I am using. So you saying that Jesus spoke Aramaic comes from the book that I am using. You get it?
See, I understand the point you're trying to make, but that still does not make the point go forward. That's the whole argument here. We're stuck on one point about, because I'm using the New Testament as Jesus speaking Aramaic. That's why Jesus is God. That's not the point I'm trying to make. See, when we're trying to see if a scripture, okay,
I never said that. That wasn't the point.
That's the whole point you're trying to make is that if I'm using the New Testament, let me just clarify that we're on the same page.
The argument here.
Let me just clarify. Okay, yeah, let me just clarify that. Okay, just make sure that we're on the same page, yeah? You're saying that I'm using the New Testament as a source, right?
Yep.
Am I using that
for the life of
to find out? To find out if Jesus spoke Aramaic, thus making the New Testament that we have accurate. That's what you're trying to say.
Authoritative according to your own standard.
That's what you're trying to say. But that's not the standard I put out. That's the whole reasoning. That's what I'm trying to make.
No, I'm showing you that you yourself use the Bible as your standard of authority on the life of Jesus. What part of that
people use Aristotle as like as a theory, as a source of like authority. People use like Plato's authority. That does not make it real. That does not make it like it happened.
That's embarrassing. You're going down. Do people use Aristotle? Stop. Do people use Aristotle as a source on the life of Jesus?
That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is
that's the point. Do they use?
They don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't.
What do they use as a historical source on the life of Jesus? What do they use?
Primarily, what we use is the New Testament. What's your point?
Boom. So do you see how I just proved to you that you use as your authority on the life of Jesus the Bible? That was my whole point. Which is why the Bible is on the table on whether or not Jesus claimed to be God.
So what you're saying is there is no other source that can show that Jesus spoke Aramaic, basically, besides the New Testament. No, besides the New Testament. No. I'm trying to understand your point.
Let me answer you.
Besides the New Testament.
Let me answer. There is no other primary source that tells you that Jesus spoke Aramaic. There will be secondary and tertiary sources, but no primary source other than the New Testament that puts Jesus in the first century, that puts Jesus in the region where Aramaic was the language of the Jews, that puts Jesus in the synagogues reading in Aramaic and in Hebrew. It's the primary sources, the only primary sources that we have, nothing else.
Again, I just want to clarify so it's for my own knowledge. Does the New Testament itself, say that Jesus spoke Aramaic? I just wanted to for my own knowledge. It does. Okay, so what you're saying, is that's the only primary source that we can use. There's no other source that we can use.
There's no other primary source other than the New Testament on the life of Jesus. The New Testament is the only, hear me out, the only primary source that we have on the life of Jesus.
Okay, I understand your point, but again, that's where we're stuck at. That's the whole point I'm trying to move forward from. You are basing your belief and my belief at the same time.
On primary sources, woe is me.
Brother, you're trying to assume that the only criteria I'm using is Jesus speaking Aramaic, and that's the only criteria I'm going to use that the Bible is accurate. Brother, that's not the whole point. Historically, let me make three criteria. Let me at least make three criteria so we can move forward. Historically, if the Bible is accurate, then we're moving forward with it. Second is how reliable it is in terms of preservation of the Bible itself. From over the years. I'm not just talking about the Bible that we have now or revised this many times or like taken these many sources. No. I want the original Bible that was there or the oldest Bible that you have compared to the newest Bible we have. Let me make my third point. And the third point will be this is from a Muslim standpoint, is the accuracy, of the events in terms of like the accuracy of how we perceive what Jesus is. Is he a God? Is he a son of God? Is he part of the Trinity? Is he not part of the Trinity? Or what he is to us as a Muslim, as just a prophet. These are the three criteria. You're trying to say that, just because Aramaic, that Jesus spoke Aramaic, that's the reason. No. I'm not trying to base my criteria on that. That's the whole point.
All right.
Brother, whoever said Dead Space Scrolls in the comments, by the way, you should know that.
Focus on me, Abdullah. Don't focus on me.
I'm focusing.
Focus on me. So, Abdullah, When you say that Jesus spoke Aramaic, is that a historical claim?
Historical fact based on what? Just the New Testament?
Don't ask me a question when I just asked you a question.
Yeah, no, okay, no. I'm agreeing, but I'm not saying it's just based on the New Testament. That's all.
Okay. So what is do you have another primary source that tells you Jesus spoke Aramaic?
At the time of Jesus, that's what the language of the area spoke.
How do you,
What does you want me to say?
how do you know?
How do I know that? How do I know that? Because there are carvings in rocks that show that they spoke Aramaic. There's scrolls from that time period. There's scrolls from that time period. What do you mean show you? Like, what do you want me to come to your house and bring you some scrolls?
No, show another bring your screen on and show me. Show me the app.
Let me actually like Google this right now for you and find it for you.
Okay.
Are you gonna? Can I use Wikipedia, or are you gonna be like, oh, this is not an accurate source?
Well, you can use Wikipedia. I'll allow it. But hopefully, Wikipedia.
Just making sure. Just making sure.
Sources.
Yeah, they usually source their own there, so I'll find it for you. It's a common language.
Based on what?
I'm trying to find sources, and I will find you sources. That's not the issue.
All right, let me give you something else. You ready?
Sure, hit me with it.
How did Jesus pray?
How did he pray? Please do tell me, because I'll tell you from what I understand in the Bible.
Don't bring up the Bible. Why are you relying on the Bible?
What Muslims say is however the Jews prayed at that time. That's how you prayed. But that's what we remember, what we are told, or what we are explained.
How did he pray?
And by putting his head on the ground.
Where do you get that from?
By bowing down.
Where do you get that from?
How am I supposed to know? Maybe the Old Testament, maybe the Jews and how they used to pray. Like, what's your point?
The Quran doesn't say that.
No, I know the Quran doesn't say that. That's not the point I'm trying to make. What I'm trying to say is like that's what I. Yeah, okay. Well, if you want to go to the Hadith, we can go to the Hadith too. That's not an issue.
I'm saying they don't say that. So where do you get that Jesus put his head to the ground and prayed? Where do you get that from?
Again, listen, I can't name you my specific sources, but if you want to go by, okay, yeah, go for it.
The Bible. Again, it's 2 for 2.
Again, that's the whole issue. And again, it's not 2 for 2 again. First of all, you are basing, brother, you're basing, like saying like, oh, everything in the Bible is true. What I'm saying is not everything in the Bible is true. Some of the things in the Bible is true. Because brother, every Muslim believes this. Because every Muslim believes this, and every Muslim knows this. The Torah and the Injil, the original ones, we don't have them. There have been changes from here and there because of translations or whatever errors people have made or whatever.
How do you know what a crooked line is? How do you know what a crooked line is? When a line is crooked, how do you know it's crooked?
When a line is crooked, it's not straight. What do you mean the line is crooked? You can see it's not
straight.
crooked.
When a line is crooked, it's not straight. So that means that you have an idea of what a straight line is to know what a crooked line is, right?
Okay, what's your point?
So for you to tell me that the gospel or the Injil has been made crooked, so to speak, then that means you would have an idea of what the straight line was, right? Of what the Injil actually said. You know what it actually said.
Yes, what the Quran says.
So that means that you wait. The Quran is the Injil?
No, whatever message was brought on to every prophet from before has, for example, the belief in one God, Tawheed. Okay, the belief in his angels, the belief in hell and heaven, the belief in
where does the Quran tell you that the Injil said anything about hell or heaven?
What do you mean the Quran? No. The point I'm trying to make here is that whatever was prescribed before to the previous prophets.
How do you know what was prescribed to them? When you don't have a straight line, how do you know when a line?
Because the Quran finalized it. The Quran said it is the last message. It is going to be the unchanged. It is going to be.
Sorry, guys. I know it's frozen on YouTube. Trying to fix it, but anyway.
Because the Quran says it is the final message. Okay, and it is the unchanged message. It will be the final message for every.
The reason why I'm cutting you off is because you're not answering my question. I didn't ask about what the Quran is. I asked about what the Injil is, what it says. How do you know what was in the Injil?
What was in the Injil? The worship of one God. That's the basic principle of what was in the Injil. Like if you want to go to the first message that every prophet would have gotten is the belief in one God.
Just say you don't know, bro. I would honor you more if you just say
no. You tell me then. You tell me then. No. You tell me, brother.
You say you don't know.
You tell me then.
No.
You tell me then. If you know so much.
Wait a second. Notice this. Did I say that the gospel was changed or did you?
I said the gospel was changed.
So is it upon me to show how the gospel is not changed, or is it upon you to show how the gospel is changed?
Because I made the claim, so I'm going to show how the gospel is changed. Obviously.
Beautiful. So with you making the claim,
but every time I've made a point.
Making the claim that the gospel is changed, that means that you know what the gospel originally says, right?
Which is personified by what the Quran says. What's your point?
Yo, man, you about to get booted. You about to get booted because you're just a robot.
Because you're trying to get some words out of me.
Where does the Quran say that Jesus prayed with his head to the ground, and that's in the Injil?
Again, I never said that Quran says that Jesus prayed with his head on the ground. We say because
all the stuff that you steal from the Bible is amazing, isn't it? You steal from the Bible, but then argue against it. What kind of world is this,
brother? You're again. You can throw whatever insults you want or anything in there. You're not making a point. Going around. All you're doing is going around in circles and circles and trying to make
going
a point,
around in circles, huh? Hey guys in the comment section, which one of us is going around in circles? Which one of us is going around in circles? Which one of us is arguing and debating and using stuff? You started with the Aramaic point.
You started with the Aramaic point. While I was searching for my sources, you were like, "Oh, tell me about how is the gospel changed." While I was searching my sources, you were like, "Oh, how is this? Brother?"
Why don't you just admit that you don't have anything, bro? You don't have nothing. You don't have nothing if you don't have the Bible. Without the Bible, you have nothing.
Alhamdulillah, I have Tawheed. I don't believe the Trinity, believing in three gods in one. I don't have that. I don't have to have that confusion every day. I don't have to have that confusion every day in my life. Be like, who should I pray to? Who should I pray to? Should I pray to the Father, or Jesus, or the Holy Spirit?
I believe in one God. I believe in one God. We believe in
you're a Unitarian. You're a Unitarian. You're a Unitarian. Are you a Trinitarian? Are you a Trinitarian or Unitarian? No, simple question. Are you a Unitarian or Trinitarian?
You believe in the Trinity? 3 in 1? 3 in 1?
I'm asking you.
3 in 1?
Are you?
You believe in multiple gods?
I don't.
I believe in Tawheed. Are you smiling yet? I believe in Tawheed.
You don't even know what Tawheed means if you don't even know what Tawheed means if you think a God can have a son.
You don't know what Tawheed
You don't even know what if you believe God. You
can't have a son
if you can't do 3 in 1 every time.
All right, thanks for coming, man. Keep clicking.
You made no point. You're
right. You're right. I made no point. I just showed how it is inevitable, no matter how you guys come, no matter what tactic you try to come with and approach the situation, approach the conversation, you all get exposed as being robots. It never fails.